Perfect. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So I out of practice, so I'm gonna put this in simulator mode, connect it to Realflight, and see how many of the available aircraft I can go through, which starting with the Wright Flyer, which they think they listed as the 1903 Wright Flyer because numbers come before letters in alphabetical order, so this way it's top of the list. Do our control checks here. Elevator's good. Rudder's good. Wing warping not implemented, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and go for it. This should be pretty straightforward. Has much higher power to weight ratio than the original actual Wright Flyer, of course, but we'll just do some quick little pattern work here. We can actually do a loop. Can't do a roll because we don't have enough roll authority, but can easily have enough elevator authority for a loop. Yeah, let's just do a quick lap around the pattern. Well, actually, the original flight was not a lap around the pattern, it was just a straight line flight. They barely got off the ground, but that's fine. Chop the power. A little more to make the runway. A little more. There we go. All right. That's one. All right. And now we're going to try this thing, which is a VTOL, actually. Which I am going to try all the VTOL and helicopters, but I might not do quite so well with them. All right, let's get enough lift, enough collective. It's actually not throttle, it's collective, which also does control the throttle, but this is a fictional, like it's not just fictional in terms of not existing as a full scale. It's, I don't think this even exists as a model. And when you pull the gear up, it also kicks it into horizontal flight. And this, of course, has quite a bit of well, every type of control authority you could want. So we can do a little snap roll here. Oh, oh, got into an inverted spin. Oh, that's not very well designed, but it also doesn't exist, so that's fine. Aerocat, I think this is going to have to be a hand launch. Yeah, so let's throttle up. These little flying wings like this are actually quite fun. Can I knife it? No, I can't knife edge in a fly. It's not technically a flying wing because it has that twin boom tail, but it doesn't actually have any rudders. so I can't knife edge with it. All right, let's come back around. Shut the power, not quite to 0. Yeah, let's shut power to idle. Well, I mean, because idle in an electric motor, it actually does go all the way to, yeah, there. Eventually the prop stops windmilling. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of porpoising, not too bad. No, it's working fine. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, so that is one thing, is if there's more than one, I will fly both of something if there's like a float plane version and a land-based version, but I will not fly every engine size. I will just always go for whatever the largest engine or the highest voltage, largest number of cells battery is. So I'm just going to go straight to the same airframe, but with the bigger 0.6-0.9 cubic inch engine. Let's see if we have flaps. They would just be flaperons, but no. Okay. I don't remember if this has dual rates or not. I don't think so. All right, here we go. This I absolutely can knife edge with. There we go. I'm climbing a little bit. Ease off on the rudder a little. Transition into a loop. I gained a little bit of altitude. That's fine. Do a simple aileron roll. Do a barrel roll. Come back around. Do like a little high-speed pass. I think this thing isn't a racer, it's a 3D aerobatic, but let's do a little pass like this. Let's do a quick roll and come back around to the pattern and land. Can't spend a whole lot of time on any given one of these because there's quite a lot of them, although the point here is to just practice some advanced maneuvers, but mostly just getting down the characteristics of a wide variety of airframes, practicing good habits in the pattern, and getting everything back on the ground in one piece. There we go. Step up. Oh, this will be fun. Maybe pull this one up for a hammerhead. It's more of just a vertical turn, but good enough. Position into just a simple loop. Simple roll. And And let's do some knife edge. A little too much rudder authority. I barely even have to put in any see, if I put in much rudder, I just climb. It just takes just the tiniest touch. In fact, it can almost just hold altitude without any rudder. Let's do just a touch of inverted flight. Now let's do an actual hammerhead. That's a little better. Okay, let's bring it around. I clipped the edge of the weeds there, but that's fine. Just do a quick visual inspection here. The way it models damage is not very sophisticated, but it doesn't really need to be. It's the rest of the physics model is actually not too shabby. So we got next. Oh, we got a heli up next. I always get a little bit backwards on these, how the idle up works. So I got to be careful because some of them they can are meant for 3D aerobatics, and you can actually invert the blade pitch. So I think, does that retract the gear? No. This, I don't know, the gear might not retract. Oh, there we go. So let me just do a little bit of forward flight. I'm not as experienced of a helicopter pilot, so try to be a little bit careful. Of course, you can almost bring it back to a hover. Pull these back a little on the collective. Bring it back to a hover. Back to a hover. And see if I can get back on the ground. There we go. Okay. think the Apache actually does not have, it has fixed gear. It has gear, not skids, but they're not retractable. Like the real Apache has fixed gear, so this is a correct model. I mean, it's a model of them. It's a simulated model of a scale model. Helicopters, I'm happy if I can just get them back on the ground. Oh, this will be one little flight, because this is it has ailerons, but it's just a easy little trainer here. It actually does have enough aileron authority for a roll, but don't want to push my luck too much. Just do a quick little loop. And let's do a barrel roll. It's not so good at that. All right, now let's just bring it around for a low pass. Go around for the downwind, power a little. I'm not sure if this one has flaps. I don't think it does. Put the flap switch down anyways. Nope. Overshot base leg a little. Line back up. Yeah, plenty of runway for this tiny little thing. Oh, maybe not. When in doubt, go around. Applies not quite as much to models as real life, because ultimately the model is expendable, so there are situations where it is preferable to just chop the power and accept the crash, as long as you can be sure it won't crash into anyone or anything. But as long as that's not a risk, then same as full scale, when in doubt, go around. Okay, let's go ahead, and now we should be able to sink a lot more readily. Oh, well, that wouldn't be too bad. Might have some nicks on the prop, but actually no, because it wasn't spinning. So in a real airplane, that would be disastrous. In a model, that's perfectly fine. Oh, it's just technically not even an airplane. I got to go to what's it called? Someplace with a lake. Where should I go? Let's just do the lake. That's the most straightforward one. So this is actually the plane that's not a plane. It's this little airboat, but it's fun. Just kind of zip around. Not really going to do much because it can't take off, but just kind of come on shore like this. You're actually really not supposed to do this with a real airboat, but do it. All right. That was fun. All right, so this, oh yeah, let's go back to, uh, this is probably the most representative of the sort of uh, acrobatic park flyer that I have a lot of on hand that I really want to get some practice with before I take back to the field. So I need to practice some stuff with this and focus on precision as best I can, anyways. So there, see, I've gone and again overcorrected the rudder when doing a knife edge, but really don't want to hit the ground. Go ahead and do an Immelman and transition into inverted. Do a simple loop. Do a hammerhead. Do a barrel roll. That wasn't a very good barrel roll. 3D aerobatic, they're actually ironically not, well, they're not bad at doing barrel rolls, but you kind of have to remember how much roll authority you have, because you can do this. I do a knife edge the other way. Try not to overcompensate, but also try not to lose altitude, but try not to gain too much. Definitely better to gain altitude than lose it. See, I'm kind of wobbling on the roll a little bit. Attempted a 4-point hesitation roll there. Not the best. It's just a regular smooth roll. Here, let's do a snap roll. Transition back over into base leg of the pattern. Bring it in. Spend a little extra time on this one because this is the most representative of I'm trying to get back into flying real world. Let's do just a little bit of high alpha on the way in. Oh, maybe not, but that actually would have been fine. In fact, it's in terms of the game's damage model, it's fully intact, but doesn't always necessarily mean that it would come out without a scratch in the real world, but it often does actually. So looks good. All right. Ooh, this will be fun. Position over here into. Actually, let's do a full Cubanate. Let's do Immelman. Get back over this way. Transition into some knife edge. I don't even know what you call that, a half loop reversal with the rudder. Just take a look at the roll rate. Yep. Normal. Do a little barrel roll. Do a quick simple loop. And transition back into the base for the pattern. Drop the power to about 20%. Just because this is not I mean, it's not a high, it's a low drag airframe, but it's not a efficient airfoil. Has a relatively low wing loading and a fairly low zero lift drag coefficient, but it doesn't glide all that well. All right, there we go. There's the AJ Slick. Right, what's next? Albatross DVA. Oh, it's a World War I warbird. Right. And is this a gasser? Yeah. All right, max power. Climb on out. And this feels like a befitting airplane to do an implement in. And a barrel roll. Just do a quick little aileron roll too. Transition into just a steep turn. Back into upwind leg. And try out a nice simple little loop. Do as close to a knife edge as this thing can do. Do sort of a chandelle there. Come back into the downwind. So what is this? I already forgot the name of what this. It's some German biplane. Is this also called the Albatross? And again, pretty bad glide ratio, but coming in pretty steep, so that's fine. Tail on the ground. Yeah, this would be a pretty fun gasser to have in real life. Probably a lot of work to get it all built, the paint scheme, but beautiful, beautiful airplane. Right. Oh yeah, that is also called the Albatross. Okay. Oh, TRX 500. Okay, that's the only version of that. Okay. Make sure I get the blade inversion correct. So I'm later I might try some helis with the inverted flight, but for now I just want to practice very basic maneuvers with the helicopters because I'm not a very experienced helicopter pilot. Try to get some reasonably high speed forward flight. Too aggressive there. All right, let's just bring it back in. A little less collective. Forward on the cyclic. And try to bring it in. Okay. All right. It's a little bit of a hard landing, but It can. All right. And what do we got next? Oh, a little racer here. AR6 Endeavor. Tail camera pan is controlled by. Okay, yeah. It has flaps. No, it has fixed gear, but it has like split flaps. So this one does have quite a nice roll rate, right? But it's and for that matter, it can do really nice wide high-speed loops like that very nicely, and actually makes for a very beautiful barrel roll. Let's bring it in for cut the power a little for not too tight a turn. So I actually want to drop some altitude so that I can come in for a high speed, relatively low altitude pass here. Since that's what this thing is built for, let's do half Cuban 8 reversal. A little bit aggressive on the G's coming out of that, but it's better than the opposite problem. Hitting the ground. Okay. Let's do just sort of reverse Chandelle to another high speed pass. A bit further. Slow aileron roll. And again, sort of almost a yo-yo into a very low high-speed pass. And go ahead and chop the power. Climb, dump the flaps. Start turning in. And this thing, by contrast, actually does have quite a good glide ratio, so I'm basically just going to leave the power at idle unless I really need it. It's going to come in pretty fast, but it's going to, well, I mean, the sync rate and the airspeed are both quite high, but as a result, the glide ratio is very high. I'll go around. Oh, I do not have split flaps, but no, not going to need them. It has plenty of lift. Let's come in a little lower this time. Just got to remember this thing really doesn't, I mean, it's built to go fast, so it really doesn't like to lose energy. Okay, just a touch of power to make sure we don't undershoot. And start to flare. There we go. A little bit of a hard landing, but it's fine. Oh, nope. Go around again. Keep porpoising. This thing is just such an efficient wing that it really doesn't want to come down. All right, I'm gonna have to be. Let's do a little bit of an extended downwind here. Come around. The power at idle. Just have to remember. It looks like it's sinking, and it is sinking pretty fast, but it's also coming forward even faster. So, and there we go. Man, that thing does not like to slow down. All right, there we go. So, okay, it ended up in the other field, but it's on the ground, so we're good. Technically in the other side of the field here, but we're good. All right. So, what was that? The Racing AR6 Endeavor. Oh, it's a T6 model next. So we should have split flaps on this one. We do. So flaps to take off, and max power goes down, goes up, flaps up, gear up, first plane I've had with retracts so far. Let's do a simple aileron roll there. And try a little loop. Transition into just a simple turn back into upwind. Do a, not a low pass, but do like a show pass. So just gently rolling to the right to show off the dells on the wing. And, yeah, let's do an Immelman to reverse. Do some inverted flight. T6, we got to do a barrel roll in this one. Ah, that was pretty mediocre. But that was a little better. Bring it in for, let's come in for a low, slow pass here, and then enter a standard left-hand pattern. Do flaps 10 here. And gear down. Round. And the downwind, go ahead and do flaps 20. Maybe I should get a couple of warbirds. Then again, I have too many RC planes. The whole point is well, I have too many RC planes that have they're flyable, but they have quite a lot of damage. So we're trying to get back into the good habits in the field here. There we go. Not exactly greasing it on, but nice stable approach. Soft landing. Flaps up. All right. Next one. The Aurora. Oh, that's a gas heli. So else with the helis, I got to check what the blade pitch reversing switch is. All right, I'm gonna be careful with this. It's a little bit. All right, I just do a quick roll with this one. All right, that's as ambitious as I want to be with a heli for now. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back. That's getting a little close to my face. Don't want to do that IRL. All right, and all right, there we go. That's a little gas-powered helicopter, the Aurora. Oh, the Aurora 3D. This is probably going to end in a crash, which is not good, but I do now want to try the inverted flight. Only going to do it for a second. All right, let's get some altitude. All right, there we go. Inverted and climbing. And back to normal flight. And arrest our descent with some collective. And let's bring it back. Bring it back in. Nope. Right, well, actually, That actually was technically a landing. It's a bit of a hard landing, but the physics of scaling is such that the skids could handle it just fine. So okay. Next up, have a star elite. Oh, it's a nice little trainer. Does this one have flaps? Let me taxi forward so I can take a look. Looks like yes. So actually, I have variable flap twist enabled, or I can enable it or disable it actually. Turn off. So for this one, just 3 position switch is adequate. So we'll just leave it at takeoff position. Go ahead and max power. Go ahead and climb out. Flaps up. And this is a trainer, but it's got enough control authority to do some simple maneuvers. Do our canonical barrel roll here. And then just do a simple aileron roll up top. And we should even have enough excess power for a loop. Yeah. Got to go into it with a decent amount of airspeed, but doing just fine. Definitely not going to be able to knife edge, not at 90 degrees, although we can do like a show pass at like 45. Do that. Nah, can't even really do that. That's fine. It is a trainer. Trainers can actually be surprisingly responsive, but they're not aerobatic airplanes. It's just that the thrust to weight ratio on even a trainer for RC is so much higher than at full scale. All right, let's go ahead and bring this one back in through the pattern. So power, hold altitude, flaps 10. Go ahead and start turning base a little early there. Flaps 20. Power back a little. And flare, and there we go. Actually, deliberately trying to get the nose gear to dig in. Get a little bit drag. All right, there we go. It's our nose wheel steering and taxi back around here. Actually, does it have nose wheel steering, or is that just rudder authority? I think it has nose wheel steering. Oh yeah, it has nose wheel steering. Okay, that's a nice little trainer. The Avstar Elite. Oh, E25 missile. This one will be fun. I was like flying the scale. All right. Go and do the takeoff. Check control surfaces. All right, and takeoff power. Rotate. Gear up. Flaps up. Oh, that was a little bit of an uncoordinated roll. Okay, let's go ahead and just do a simple aileron roll there. Remember, the scaling law applies across all scales, so this is much less than full scale, but it's quite a bit bigger, so it's not as overpowered, even though this is much more complicated model in that trainer. It has a lower power to weight ratio. You can still do a loop though, just going with enough airspeed and to manage everything carefully. Let's do a little low speed pass here. Not particularly high speed. It's a nice stable airplane, so. Oh, the bomb bay is open. I'm actually not sure how to close that. Probably one of these. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's do that again with it closed and open it as we're passing. Do a low speed pass. Do flaps down. Low over the field. And go ahead and open our bomb bay doors. Kaboom. Close them. Max power. Flaps 10. Flaps up. Go ahead and come around. Get back downwind. And do flaps 10. Gear down. Right, come down. And go ahead and do flaps 20. I don't know if it's that they're not necessarily 10 and 20, but I just have a 3-position switch. They are approximately 10 and 20 degrees of extension, though. Okay, and go ahead and turn, cut the power, and make it turn to final. Just kind of doing not really doing much of a base leg there, just doing a 180, but for RC, that's perfectly fine. And idle, there we go. And take the nose wheel in to get some braking. And there we have it. Okay, put the bomb bay on the ground again. Close it. Okay. Bed. Oh, it's this little thing. So this is actually our first turbine. Let's go ahead and fly that. So this one, that same switch closes the canopy. I don't think it has flaps. Just leave that in the neutral position. Max power. Rotate. Gear up. So this thing should be quite fast. Not that fast because it has that sort of, so this is actually a scale model, I think, of a very small, jet that can be piloted. Obviously this one is RC. Well, it's a simulation of an RC, so it's a phase 2 of the sort of simulation and simulacra dealio. Or phase 3, I don't know. It's a simulation of something that is a physical scale model of something else that exists at full scale, which is itself already quite small. So it's not actually that fast, although it is pretty quick. Not as fast as that prop-driven racer that I had earlier. But, let's get some low fast pass in here. Transition into a loop. Transition that into a barrel roll. Not a sloppy one with a lot of altitude gain, but that's fine. Transition into a split S. Use that to get reversed. Get over side of the runway, get ready for another loop. Transition into an aileron roll. I have a bizarre feeling I've lost thrust, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it in for landing now. You're down. I think I might have run the fuel tank dry. So, gotta bring it down now, which is probably going to run into the grass, but it's fine. It'll survive. Oh, nope, we're fine. Yeah, no. That would make it on attack. Yeah, I ran the tank dry. Either that or I ran the feed bladders dry. Oh, all right, got another heli here. All right, gear up. Let's go ahead and do some high-speed flight here. Or attempt it. And let's bring it to a hover out over the field here. Try to stabilize in one position. It's kind of hard without depth perception, but I don't want to do all this in VR because navigating the UI is a bit of a pain in VR. I mean, it's not that bad, but... And also, streaming in VR is kind of a nightmare. All right, let's go down and bring this back. Let's actually try a landing with a little forward momentum because we do have wheels. Although this actually, I think, has an actual gyro in it that's a more sophisticated computer. So it can not exactly auto hover, but it has a much higher degree of stabilization than some of the other ones. There we go. All right. What's up next? Bell 222. That might be sufficiently different. We'll just hover it and see how it performs. Gear up. It feels about the same. It's just the rotor head is somehow made to scale. All right, gear back down. Let me that down. Let me try that. Just oh, nope. It does not like using the wheels. Okay. Let's not take our chances there. I mean, it's stimulated, but the whole point is to build good habits for the field. Let's try this one. Just another gas heli. All right, go ahead and get it off the ground. Let's just hover this one for a minute. Let's do some side to side. Let's do some forward. Let's do some backward. Let's be careful not to get going too fast, because it is going towards my face. Well, not in reality, but again, habits copy over. Oh, it's a little further away. Let's see if we can just hover in place and spin around and bring it back down for a landing. All right, stable landing there. Let me see if we can do one more maneuver and just lift off, flip around 180 degrees, and land facing towards myself. There we go. All right, what's next? Bergen Intrepid. What's that? Another heli? Yeah. I think this is electric. No, it's gas too. A lot of the helis look pretty similar unless they have a scale body on them. They don't all fly the same. They have different degrees of stability, and some of them can fly inverted. Well, they can all fly inverted, but some of them can hover inverted, so they can reverse the blade pitch. Eh. Let's try a little bit of a trick there. Back to a hover. And come back in. Let's come in laterally this time. Oh, that could have ended in disaster, but it didn't, so we're all good. Okay, there we go. Oh, oh, not this again. Oh, there we go. Big stick. Oh, this is a very fun little trainer. Or I guess it's a sort of an intermediate trainer, but also common for a airplane. I've actually never had a gasser. I've flown electric version of not quite this, but something very similar. So not the same paint scheme, but the same wing geometry and everything, and electric powered. So I don't know if I've even flown a gasser. I've definitely never owned one. They're actually kind of cool. Do a little loop here. Transition into just an aileron roll. This thing actually has quite a lot. It has a pretty decent thrust to weight ratio, and it has a good amount of aileron authority, so you can roll to your heart's content. I can't. Let's try a knife edge and see what happens. Oh yeah, kind of knife edge. Yeah, you can knife edge with it. Yeah, there we go. Let's just do a again very sloppy barrel roll, but it's fine. Back around. Do like a low pass here. It's not designed to fly super fast. It's got a pretty thick wing, but just fly over like that. Show off the wing. And just go ahead and pull up the power. Bring it in for a split S to land. I do want to get the power back up because this thing doesn't have a particularly good glide ratio. And chop the power. As tricycles, so flick lots. And nose down. Let's dig it in. All right, there we go. Oh, that's fine. As long as the prop isn't hit the ground, we're fine. Gas just not worth it these days? Yeah, honestly. It's kind of cool, but I've never really thought it was worth the cost or the effort. Oh, yeah, it's doing sometimes it does this where the menus freeze up. Might have to restart Realflight. Oh, yeah. Right, sometimes if I just Alt-Tab in and out, it'll fix it, but okay, all right, I'll just restart it real quick. Let's try. Oh, let's go. No. Do, 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 do. Let's just go to the Alpine Lake. That's my go-to. Nice simple. Oh, oops. I wanted the float plane version. There we go. All right. Back spire. Pull up. Float plane's not going to fly super differently, other than, of course, it's got a little extra drag and a little extra weight. Still flies quite nicely. I can read chat only intermittently when I'm taxiing, so I'll look back over there in a second. I mean, landing on water, you can kind of land any direction you'd like, but it's usually not a good idea to land straight towards yourself, but a 45-degree angle like this is usually fine. Just flare, 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 flare. There we go. Grew up around gassers. Smells good. Yeah, I have definitely smelled gassers flying, and they do have a weirdly enjoyable smell. Uh, Helicopters and planes, jets. Some cars and yeah. I mean, I've never gotten into like serious cars and trucks. I've had the little like like the super cheapy ones that you just drive around on your living room floor. They're kind of fun, but I have much more time in airplanes, and only a small amount in I have a little bit of time in helicopters. I mean, RC helicopters. I've never flown full-scale helicopter. I have flown a full-scale plane plenty of times. Just kind of gently taxiing up to the shore here. Sort of deliberately beach ourselves. There we go. Okay, what's next? The Bird of Time. Oh, a glider. So we got to select a somewhere that we can slope soar here. Oh yeah, that'll do. All right, and ooh, got a nice steep breeze here. Maybe a little bit too much. All right, well, that wouldn't crash, but really keep that nose into the wind. Oh man, it's this thing just doesn't have enough nose weight. Which normally is the opposite problem, but just can't. It has plenty of lift. You see, it has plenty of lift, but it just the headwind is just brutal. Let me see if there's a place with the gentler. Let's try this slope. Yeah, it's a little better. This thing's just got this thing gets blown around a lot in the wind. I guess I have my experience in gliders is about halfway between my experience in planes and my experience in helicopters. I know how to fly them, but I'm not particularly good at finding thermals or anything like that. I do know how to slope soar, but this is not exactly doing it on easy mode. Although it's getting through the wind now. See if we can bring it in. Again, it even with the nose all the way down, it barely penetrates, which, I mean, it's good for staying aloft, but makes it pretty hard to get it to go. But yeah, so what's happening there is I'm actually stalling out the elevator trying to get the nose down. All right, that's just gonna, oh, up at the bottom of the canyon there, which is no good. See, before we were at least ending up behind it, behind ourselves. We just have to walk over and pick it back up. Here we got to walk all the way down that hill. All right. At least this is going to end up like not too far away. Yeah, there we go. Okay, what's next? Oh, another heli. Yeah, those are meaningfully different enough to try all of them. Oh, go back to what's it called? The Carl Ensign field or default. Just a whoa, 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 whoa. Very small helicopter, but flies quite nicely. Looks like it has a good gyro in it. Can let go of the cyclic and it pretty much comes back to level. I hit my face, although this one is small enough that probably wouldn't get cut too badly if the blades did hit my face in real life. All right, let's bring that down. Let's try. There's going to be a lot of helis because the blade series is going to be quite a number. I might not try all of them. The scale is different enough between these three that I'll try all of them though. Although I'm probably not going to do much with each of them. Just bring this to a hover. Do a little hover, do a little spin. Fly left. Or fly right. Fly left. Come back to center. Forward. Backwards. And go ahead, pop it down right there. Okay. And these are all very similar, but of course each one is subsequently larger. Each subsequent one in the series is a bit larger. Oh, may have our first. Oh no, we're good. So far I've actually gone this entire time without crashing anything that has like a physics model that makes sense. We crashed that one fictional tilt rotor because the controls were not as advertised. But other than that, I've been trying to not crash because, again, trying to build good habits for the field, just like they say in the training sessions. Do a little spin here. Right down. Okay. I'm going to go pretty quickly through all of these helis because they are, other than the size, pretty similar. Again, this one's just a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll fly a little bit with this one. All right, and bring it back. And oh, that was close, but blades are fine. Yeah, helicopters are fun. I should actually fly them more because they're a good option if you live somewhere without a whole lot of open space, which very much describes San Diego. uh, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I've always flown more airplanes. I've flown a couple of helicopters. Oh, we're good. We're good. That's close. Maybe do a quick little sort of quasi pattern because you can fly patterns in a helicopter. You don't necessarily have to because you can come in any direction and land vertically, but still kind of go through the motions of traffic pattern. Nope, don't want to get too close to my face. Not too close to the face. Not the face. Not the face. Okay, and bring it down. Yeah, they are not easy to learn. I actually have more time flying drones than I do helicopters, which, I mean, drones, if you put them in the, you know, auto stabilization mode, are of course very easy to fly, but if you turn all the more when you turn the stabilization off, they get very difficult. I am just going to go straight for the stretch version of this. And there we go. Getting a little more confident in my maneuvers here. Don't want to get overconfident though. Ah, yeah. Bound to happen eventually, I guess. Rip. All right, we got one more to go here. Oh yeah, yeah. The GPS makes it like, I mean, you just, you know, you can always hit the like return to launch site button, right, and guaranteed to recover. All right. Let's see what's next. BLT park flyer. Oh, this should be fun. It's blown around quite a bit in the wind, but these tiny little things are actually quite a lot of fun to fly. They can't do a whole lot, but it's fun to just kind of. They can fly so slow. The can do all sorts of. Can fly a lot lower and a lot closer than you can with things that need more speed. Fun little airplane. All right, Boo-ray. I think that's that's a sort of a acrobatic, more of a high-speed acrobatic aerobatic plane. Those wheel pants on there to help you get the speed up. It's got not a very efficient wing, but a very low drag wing, or a very low zero lift drag coefficient wing. So you can do all sorts of 3D maneuvers, or you can come in and do pretty high speed passes. And maybe we'll start, now we'll start get a little more serious about doing some high alpha with this one. It's not really a hovering, not really a plane for hovering, but can do some really nice high alpha, and I'm trying to gaining a little more altitude than I'd like. Do a hammerhead, or actually it's not really a hammerhead at that point, it's just a stall turn. I guess a hammerhead is a stall, sort of a stall turn. I have not seen that. I will look it up when I'm, well, I guess after this. Let's bring this in to land. Go through downwind here. Do a little bit of a steep turn into a pretty short base, but this thing doesn't glide very much. And power idle. Let's go ahead and we're good. This thing stops in such a short distance, and the gear is so short. Okay. What's next? The Bulldog. Oh, that's a fun airplane. Actually forgot, I think one of these turns the smoke on and off. But I don't remember which one. Nope, none of them do. It's just always on. Okay, well, maybe the gear. Oh, yes, okay. The gear switch turns the smoke on and off. and chop the power, and it lands without much fuss, because this is very, well, it's not a high drag wing, but it's a high drag fuselage, and it's a very low efficiency wing. It's a very low aspect ratio. What's next? Oh, C-17. Make sure the gear switches down. Okay, so let's do flaps takeoff. Controls. I think one of these controls the cargo bay. Yeah. Let's open the cargo bay and let's load our imaginary cargo here and go ahead and retract it. Make sure the flaps are down. I can actually extend them to variable degree, but I'll just leave them at the default takeoff position. And max power. Gear up. Flaps up. Oh, that was close. Yeah, this is not an aerobatic airplane. I mean, it can roll, but yeah, that was close. A low high-speed pass. Or as high speed as this thing can manage, which is not too shabby, but idle. Flaps 10. Set up for a low speed pass. Gear up. Go ahead and extend flaps 20. And right as we're heading over the field, start extending the cargo ramp. Oh yeah, there we go. Cargo ramp open, flaps down, low speed. Cargo's dropped. Track the ramp, flaps 10, positive rate, flaps up. Idle. Flaps 10. Keep down. Flaps 20. Turn to base. And go ahead and, oh, a little extra power. Make sure actually land on the runway, not short of it. And there we go. It's down. And let's open our cargo ramp again. Okay. Cap 232. Oh, another right. No, nothing to configure, just take off power. This might be a good airplane to start some really high alpha maneuvers and starting to hover. There's our torque roll. It's kind of hard to tell when you're that far from the ground, but it's kind of risky to get close to the ground. We'll give it a go, though. Now let's just, when in doubt, max power and throttle your way out. Unless you're about to collide with people, in which case just accept the crash and power idle. It's about as far as I can usually get with hovering, as I'll get into start of a hover, and then I won't be able to do counter. I'll start to try to turn it into a torque roll, but I'm not quite coordinated enough. Yeah, see. Let's try again. Yep. All right. And let's just do a quick little couple of snap rolls and idle. Split S into a landing, something you should never do in a full scale. Unless you've very carefully calculated all your altitudes. E-Flight Habu 70, great jet to get started. Yeah, it seems pretty nice. I have my only EDF that I have right now is UMX A10, which is a surprisingly decent park flyer. Oh, this is just the electric version of what we just flew, but I'll just do that real quick. Just try to hover in this and see if that goes any better. Going a little better. What's next? Warranted jets. Yeah, I mean, they are pretty cool. You need a lot of space for the aircraft for the really fancy ones, but can be well worth it if you've got somewhere that you can fly them. I have some options, but so this one again pretty similar. Oh, That's what I get for doing high alpha close to the ground. Oh, these ones are, I should almost do this one indoor, but wind is calm, so I can just fly it here. I have a, well, I have a UMX, I have a Night Vapor, which is similar to this little thing. These are actually a lot of fun too, because you can just fly them in such tight spaces, and you can't roll, but you actually, if you get enough speed, sometimes you actually can loop. Not quite, because actually stall the elevator out. See, even the whole time we actually weren't even past the edge of the runway. Oh, here's a 182. Let's do flaps 10. Actually, let's enable the variable flaps and do actual flaps 10. So that's flaps up, that's flaps 10. Okay. And max power. Positive rate, flaps up. And again, this is modeled on a 182, but of course it has so much power that we can do rolls, do loops. Might even be able to do knife edge. Oh yeah, I could do knife edge. Like knife edge in a 182, which I assure you cannot do in a scale, a full scale 182. Although of course you can sit in a full scale 182. This actually is a pretty efficient wing, so the flaps had a good bit of drag, but that didn't happen. There we go. Okay. Oh, CH46 micro. This should be fun. This has gear, which I think on the full scale, well, on the full scale is definitely retractable, but of course on this it's not. It's a tiny little RC heli. I think I've flown one of these though. They're fun. Cessna Aerobat. Yeah, the Aerobat actually probably is pretty similar to the full scale. Let's see. I'm not sure if I get how far through. I might just have to make it through C this evening because this is going on 90 minutes. I'll see how far I keep going. We got to go back to the lake though for this one, which this is a rare airplane, which we have one. We have one of the two examples at San Diego Air and Space Museum. So let me make sure the gear is down. Yeah, go ahead and do max power. So we have these sort of skis. All right, go ahead and retract them. Because you can see why this haha, pun intended, did not take off as a project. A supersonic float plane is not exactly the world's best idea, although it did work. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world to fly, though. Look at that roll rate, though. Do a nice slow roll. Oop, that was close. All right, let me come in for some slow speed flight and extend the floats, which are really more skis than floats. Just do a little touch and go on the water here. If the ski's retracted, it is insanely fast, though. Even the EDF, well, of course, the real version is supersonic. In the EDF version, well, that's mostly by merit of just having a very thin wing, but that was also necessary for a real supersonic jet. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm actually going to do that one again because I was looking forward to landing it. Oh. Remember, kids, start with the throttle at idle. It does skid very nicely on the surface. Well, I guess it also floats. It's just that the things that extend are not floats; they're skids. And the thing is, the aircraft as a whole is buoyant, but the skis are not buoyant enough to act as floats on their own. And you can see they don't even have much volume to them; they're very thin. And oh, it's gonna hit this water, isn't it? Oh, see again, just like its real life counterpart, not the easiest thing to fly. Just kind of skids like that. Let's do. Facing a little bit more out over the lake, and ahead, and there we go. Oh, okay. I think that's enough of failing at that. And let's see, Curtis. Oh, this is another helicopter, which actually we can just stay here because we don't need a runway for helicopters. Oh, that was well, I guess that can happen in real life too. Let's see how good the water physics model is and push our luck a little bit. We get close, does it? No, it doesn't. I mean, that would be kind of a waste of GPU cycles, to be honest, to model the water responding to the airflow. But Oh, comment. The other comment. All right, let's do. Yeah. See, this is electric. Let's see what our. I think it. Oh, it has. That's right. It has split flaps. I'm not gonna want to futz with that if I can't see them. Let's just do the default middle flap configuration. Gear up. Flaps up. This is another racer that has quite good aileron authority, but really meant to go fast. The profile of the tail is so narrow that it's easy to get the orientation backwards if you're not careful. Right, let's bring it back in for landing. Down, flaps 20. Nope. And no depth perception. Oh, so this is technically a float plane, but you can fly it off grass just fine. Well, it's an amphib. It's fun. It's a very, very low aspect ratio wing with a very high drag. But watch, it has actually very good high alpha performance. And you don't even have to land on the runway axis. Just do that. Oh, mosquito. That'll be fun. Make sure gear switches down. Flaps take off. All right, max power. Gear up. Flaps up. 10. Down, flaps 10. Oh, but this one also, well, we'll check after land. I think it also actually has a Bombay. The real Mosquito certainly did, but they didn't always use it. Let's see. Oh, oops. Almost put the gear up. Which you actually can do on the ground. Put the gear up on the ground with an electric, it's actually not a big deal, but the motors are turning and say bye-bye to the props. We'll just go straight to the 3D. And since we're 3D, let's go inverted. Oh, that was close. He's all got, okay. Let's go to, I wonder if there's a better, there's a few lakes, but let's go back to the Albany Lake. So this one's amphibious. Make sure the gear are up. Flaps. Take off. Actually, for this is one where variable flaps are kind of nice. Normally, never to land like this. So this one has a special trick. Yes. Oh, can't go from there. Okay, probably just a couple more and it'll be, now let's finish out the D, and then resume the E's tomorrow. To cards field with our B4. Oh, remember which one's the speed? Oh, that's the gear. Speed brake? One of these, it has a separate speed brake, which is one of these. Sort that out later. All right, next fire. Gear up. Beautiful machine. Half Cuban, back to upwind. Do a little bit of a knife edge. Low speed pass. Flaps 10. Which extends the slats and also the spoilers. Let's bring it in. Okay, let me take a look, because I could have sworn this had, you could also extend the fuselage speed brakes. Air brakes. Yeah. Position switches nearest. Oh yeah, there we go. So let's do like a rejected takeoff real quick. Okay, so I think there's one more in D, and then pick up again with E tomorrow, because E has all the E flights in it. So Super Decathlon, that's a nice one to hit on. Getting kind of tired. Says flaps? I don't think so. Let me take a look. No. Okay. Expire. Relatively high speed pass. Pull up, transition it into inverted. I'm getting a little too tired to do anything too sophisticated. I mean, I guess the whole point is that can crash and there's no consequences, but also the whole point is to train in a low-cost environment, but build good habits for actually flying at the field, because this is fun, but nowhere near as much fun as actually flying at the field. So let me maybe come into medium altitude, high alpha pass here, then just bring it in for a landing. I do a quick little hammerhead here. Use that to reverse, get back into the downwind, start slowing down. Power and level off. Stay level. Go ahead and start turning base. Just do a continuous 180 to final. A little more power just to touch down right in front of Corpus and touch down right here. All right. There we go. All right. I guess we'll do all the E-flights tomorrow.